Hello my droplets and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be teaching you how you can learn how to draw anatomy correctly. I'm going to be showing you the process of how I learned how to draw anatomy, and it is actually really simple. It is something that once you get the hang of, you can easily start doing. I still use references though. Always make sure you use references because at the end of the day, it just makes it so much easier instead of you just having to remember what the human body looks like. So I highly suggest using references. All right, first off, what I'm going to show you is how to break down the human body into shapes. And this is just a basic technique that pretty much everyone learns to do when they're like in drawing class, is to pick out shapes from your subject matter. So that's what we're gonna do here today. And we're gonna add a new layer. I've inserted this as a private photo just for educational purposes, and I'm going to show you how you can break down those shapes. I'm actually going to move this over just slightly. So I know this is a lot easier to do with digital programs because you could just put the photo in and trace on top of it, but I'm also going to show you right next to it what it looks like if you're just referencing the shapes that you're picking out on your subject matter. So I always start out with the head. Now with the head, it's always going to be that circle. The top of the head kind of has that arc. It's just easy. Draw a circle. Yeah, okay. Draw a circle, and then after that, I kind of like to do these two little lines and then kind of like a triangle shape at the bottom. So if we were to do that over here without that reference, got that circle, we got the two lines, and we got that little triangle shape at the bottom there, okay? And then I always like to do a little ear. It's kind of like a half circle shape right down there. Okay, next you do a little cylinder for the neck, because it's kind of like a straight little tube. Now usually the neck right here comes out from this little corner where you have that triangle meet up with the straight lines on the side. Okay, then after that you work on the shoulders, right? So you have a little distance between the shoulders to the neck. You kind of do that, give that little distance, and then I like to draw little circles just kind of as a reference to where the shoulders should be. So then after that, I like to do the torso. So his torso is right about here. Again, you definitely want to break it down into basic shapes. It really helps when you're using a reference, just so you have that guideline. So there we go. And then I like to add this little line right there because where the neck muscle is, it doesn't follow like a straight line. It's kind of in and then out like that. All right, so the next piece that I always work on is the torso. Again, another cylinder just because it's kind of straight. As such. Now, with the arms, again, another little cylinder. Helps to add lines so you know which direction the arms are going in first. And then you can draw in that cylinder to fill in around. Again, this is why using references in your drawings is always super helpful instead of just trying to draw the human body from memory, because sometimes, you know, you may want to do a dynamic pose and it's not always that easy to picture. And there's a ton of resources as well. You don't always have to use photos. There's this program that I used to use called Design Doll. You can download it on desktop. I don't know if you can do it like on any mobile applications, but for sure on desktop computer, and that way you can play around with a human form and kind of design the pose that you want it in, just to give you more of an idea if you don't feel comfortable using like photos as references. But I do strongly believe that if you're learning, like just barely starting out learning anatomy, that it's always smart to use actual photos of people, because, you know, viewing the actual thing is going to help you out the most. All right, so to continue on, his arms go like this. Again, another little cylinder. And don't worry, the sketch is going to look messy. You can, you know, flesh it out later. Again, kind of draw those lines right there. And those cylinders connect. And with sketches, you don't have to be perfect, of course. You can always flesh it out later, but just to get like the gist of your pose down. Perfect. All right, next, I always work on hands last. I am not the best at drawing hands still. So I always work on them last. We're gonna work on the hip area, hip region. And it kind of goes in this shape. I always like to do a circle and then this triangle shape. So we'll just draw in that triangle. And men's hips are kind of flat. Okay, and then after that, I like to branch off in lines and then little circles where that knee joint is. Okay, what I am going to do, because I made him a little too big over here, is shrink him down just a hair. There we go. There we go. Okay. So we'll draw in those lines. And then we'll add in those cylinders. Perfect. All right, then it's time for the calf/shin area. Of course, the little joints right there. And then usually for feet, I don't go too crazy. I just kind of do this little box thing just to kind of give me a general idea of what the feet should look like. And then we connect those. We'll add in muscles later, because we're once again getting kind of the general idea. See how it's all coming together? All right, and now my least favorite part, the hands. This one right here is easy. It just kind of has it tucked around his waist right there, right? So we'll tuck that right there. Now, the trick with hands, usually when I'm drawing, is to always break it down in a shape. So that's going to be the easiest way to draw hands. And I will be doing a future tutorial on this too. This is just an overall anatomy. But usually we'll do the little joint right there is a circle, and then get the general shape of the hand. So it's kind of, I don't even know what to call this shape, but it's that general shape, okay? So circle, and then we will just replicate that shape that we did over there. Now, I'm gonna zoom in for this because they're kind of tiny. Now with the hands, for this pose, kind of go straight, straight, down. And I like to do, just keep it in simple shapes. So it's kind of this box. And I will erase this right here so you can see it a little better. This kind of looks like this mitten, right? This little mitten right here. Then, it's got a finger coming out right here. And then we just got the little thumb. Yeah? Okay, so if we go over to here, just kind of got our reference. Go straight, straight. Create that little mitten. Again, doesn't have to be perfect. Ooh, a little mitten. And then of course, we've got the little finger and the thumb. And don't feel bad if you don't create the most perfect thing on the first try. Keep in mind, I've been drawing for a while, so obviously the first time I've started doing this and drawing hands, it did not turn out so great. But after a lot of practice, you can definitely have an easier time with it. So just keep practicing. That's the whole gist of it. Just practice, practice, practice. Okay, then it is time for the individual little digits. So I always like to do like the knuckle region and just draw a straight line, kind of curve that finger, straight line, curve it. Can't even see that well, that line is so thick. Curve, curve. There you go, you got your hand. I'm gonna add a little curve to it. Okay, so knuckle, knuckle, straight line, curve that fingertip, straight line, erase it a little bit. This one's a little bit too big, so we'll adjust that. Straight line, curve the fingertip, and I'll just kind of flesh that out a little bit. Yeah? So there you kind of have it. And I did make the hand a little big, so what we're gonna do is just adjust that. See, even I still make mistakes. So it's okay. Little fix. All right. There you go. So we got the basic pose down, and then after this point, this is a point where you can start, fleshing everything out. I always like to do another layer, and when I'm finalizing line art, just do another layer and lower the opacity of the sketch, and then you can start drawing over it. So when you start fleshing everything out, doing more detail work. And then usually I do this little cross because it helps me with drawing the details of the face later. All right, and that is kind of how you do anatomy. It's always easier to break it down into simple shapes. All right, let's say that you have something side profile, right? We'll do the same thing. We'll break it all down into shapes. So, like in the previous one, start with a circle. And then what I like to do with this is kind of give it the anime style look, right? Kind of box out that shape. I'll do it again over here, kind of eyeballing the reference. And then her little ear is right there. Perfect. All right, her neck, we're gonna do a tube. And next, they come back here on the side profile. So they're a little further back. Connect that. All right, so we've got our head shape. Then we're gonna do those sockets. Okay. Lines, socket. And then torso, side profile is kind of a little more complex. This would be where her back would be. Okay. Again, very important, work with your basic shapes that you have. I'm gonna move her over just a little bit. Just a little bit. Kind of going off the page there. Okay. Next, I'm gonna work with those tubes again. Kind of create that arm shape. Then her arm comes out here, another socket, socket. Then draw that tube. Okay, and then the hand, we're just gonna do this fan right there. This little fan. This one I would do a circle because it's kind of in a circle shape. We'll worry about the fingers in a second. We'll just leave that there for reference. Okay, and then her midsection kind of compresses in the back area, is elongated here. So leave space for the hip. Okay, and then draw a circle right there. Okay, now for the fingers, we'll do this hand first. Again, kind of make this box shape. Then we'll do that triangle. We'll just do this finger. It's a little tube right there, and then the thumb is a tube. So you kind of get your basic hand shape down right there. So. See? If you need to erase, you can erase, because we're doing a lot of overlapping. Let's tidy it up just a little bit. Okay. Then we'll do Basically the same for this one. We'll draw a box right here, box, and then the pinky comes out. And then of course the thumb as well. We'll do the same over here. So we've got pointer finger, middle and ring, and then pinky comes out. Make that a little longer. Okay. And then the thumb coming out of the side. Again, it's not going to be totally perfect. Make some adjustments if you need to. All right? It's basic pose, and then you can, once again, go through and flesh that out. All right, and there you have it. Always use references and always break down those references into shapes. It'll just make your life so much easier. Well, I hope you found this tutorial helpful, and I hope to see you in the next video. Bye-bye.